what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time today to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a video that I've never done before, which is basically a superlative. So if you've never heard of a superlative or not sure what it is, basically it's like in senior, I feel like it's mainly done when like you're a senior, but I feel like other people do them at like different grades where like they give out like best dressed, best smile, average senior, whatever. We had like really like typical like ones. I thought that I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, and I wanted to do this with magic stuff released this year. So I'm only going to be talking about like the core sets. I'm not going to be talking about Modern Horizons and Time Spiral, even though I absolutely love those sets because there's a lot of reprints and stuff, and I think for like what I was trying to do, I kind of wanted to try with like cards that were like newer. But basically what I did is I went through and looked at some categories and all that sort of stuff, and I figured out like the 2021 Magic Superlatives, and I spent like way too much time looking at Magic sets to try to get these and like narrow down cards and like figure this out. So I feel like there are things that I've pretty much missed. Like I feel like there's a lot of things that I've just kind of like, there are definitely gaps I feel like in this list of like things like that I feel like I might have just missed along the way, but I tried my best to cover all of my bases and check all of my boxes because yeah, I just thought this video would be really interesting. And I thought originally when I had started to like map out this video, I thought it was going to be a lot more like best green mythic and like best white mythic and whatever, and then I just felt like that was just a little bit repetitive, so I tried to make it a little bit more interesting. With that being said, though, it was pretty hard because there were like some that was really hard to narrow down, so let's just hop into it. So sipping on some tea. This is some cinnamon apple tea by Bigelow. It is very delicious if you're a tea drinker. And also I have this new mug. How rad is this? I love this. I got this from Etsy. The person who made it, it was originally said coffee, but I don't drink coffee, so I was like, could you get it to say tea instead? And I love that. Okay. All right. So I tried to make categories that I thought were like pretty interesting. So I hope that you guys like this, and I'd really like to know if there were any things that you feel like could fit into these categories, because I feel like it's hard to just pick one. Like that's my biggest thing is like, there's so many things. Like there's so many cards. Okay. The first card is best flavor. And to be honest with you, for some of these, I like felt like it was between a couple. This I had pretty much my heart set on, and it has to be Olivia. Like, I feel like in general, this set, and I mentioned this in my last video that I filmed, which was talking about the ranking, the 2021 Magic sets, and I said how this set, Crimson Vow, was like one of the best flavor sets like I think I've ever seen in like my Magic, like my time being a Magic player, and like, and what I mean by that too is like my times actually being a Magic player, like not like sets prior, you know what I mean? This set is awesome, and this card, like there was like no doubt in my mind that Olivia just like had to win, like pretty much as like honorable mention to like a lot of these cards. It also, this was really hard too because there were a lot of cards from the Dungeons and Dragons set that I really wanted to talk about because there was a lot of really amazing flavor in that set as well, but like, come on, like this just is great. She has the coolest flavor. Like, I'm sorry, you know? This was a hard one to pick, but, like, seriously, she's so cool. Okay. The next card is the, like, kind of, like, new Commander staple. Kind of, like, the new kid on the block. You know? Like, the new thing that I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm gonna see that in a lot of different Commander decks. And that has to be Doomskar. And there's a lot of potential choices for this one. There were a lot for a lot of people, but for a lot of categories. But I really, really enjoyed this card because I think that element of the Foretell is so incredibly cool, and I just could feel like I could see a lot of people running this card because the Foretell card cost is only 3. Like, so I guess you do technically pay 5, and you do exile this card from your hand, and then you can cast it later on, which I think is really cool, and I feel like it can just sit on the field, and you can, it kind of reminds me of that Nevril's Disc card or whatever, which, you know, this definitely reminds me of, but yeah, I think this card is really cool, and I feel like a lot of people are going to run this in their Commander decks, if they're not already. Okay, the next, category, I forgot how words worked for a second, okay, is most likely to stab you in the back, and I came up with this category specifically because I saw this card, and I was like, there's no way that I can do this video and, like, not talk about this card, and that is Shessra, Death's Whisper. Look at this card and tell me that she would just, like, seduce you, and then stab you completely in the back. Because, like, I feel like there's no other way to interpret this card other than that. This art is so incredibly pretty. Like, seriously, who does this? Ooh, is this a new artist? I don't recognize this artist. Cool. It's hard to see. For some reason, this is, like, it's really blurry on my thing, so I can't really see the name of the artist really well. But it looks like a new magic artist. But maybe I'm totally wrong. But, yeah, come on. Like, she looks super cool. She would definitely stab you in the back. Absolutely, like... Take your money and run. Absolutely. Okay, best art. This had to be a category, and to be honest with you guys, this is like probably like one of the hardest categories for me to pick because I just love magic art. Guilty. It's just one of my favorite things in the game, and it was really, really, really hard to pick just one. But I feel like I saw this card, and I was pretty sold on this art. Like, Hailstorm Valkyrie. I want these wings. Okay, I want these angel wings. I need them. Can someone create them? And I will buy them because these are awesome. And I don't know why I need angel wings, but I want wings that look like this. This ombre effect, like, I love this. Also, too, one of my favorite magic arts is Gift of Orzhov or Orzhova. I absolutely love that art, and that also has angel wings. I don't know what it is, but I'm a sucker for angel wings. They're just stunning. Like, the texture on them is like beautiful, and this art is like fabulous. These like purples and blues and that like bright like aqua. I am absolutely about this art. Please. I wonder how much the foil is. It's probably like 45 cents, and I will probably buy it because it's pretty. Do I have a reason to run this card? No, I don't do anything with Snowlands, but this card is stunning. Stunning. This is like my biggest gripe, is I feel like Wizards does this all the time, where they're like, this like uncommon, yeah, we'll just give it really great art. And like, it's not, no one runs it, aside from like limited. You know what I mean? That really bothers me. That's like on my list of pet peeves, okay? Okay, I did not make up this category, so if you're like, this is a really creative category, Tracy, I didn't. I did come up with the most likely to stab you in the back. I mean, I'm sure that's like exists, but like this one, I didn't create this, but most likely to survive the Hunger Games. Honestly, there were a lot of different categories, like a lot of different things that I feel like this could go with, but then I saw this card and I was like, this card was made for this category, and that is this card called Slaughter Specialist. I truthfully think, how has there never been a card before this day called Slaughter Specialist? Because, like, why would you not? You had an opportunity and you seized it, and you probably should have done this, like, at least 10 years ago, because, come on, Slaughter Specialist, come on! If this is not the most, like, made for Hunger Games card, I don't know what is, honestly. Like, look at her. It's specialist in the name. Of course she would win the Hunger Games, absolutely. I thought for this category before I was gonna pick, like, one of the, I don't know, like characters that like a lot of people know, you know what I mean? Like Olivia or Soren or something. But then I just saw her and I was like, how could you not? The art's really cool in this card too. Okay, now here's the deal: is I was looking through and I was thinking through of doing like a best rare, best mythic, all that kind of stuff, right? And I didn't commit to that, but I really wanted to talk about this card, and it just happens to be an uncommon. And one of my favorite things is finding like really good commons and uncommons. I think that's like really cool, and that you can run in like more eternal formats, not just like, oh, this is like a bomb, you know, common for limited. Like, that's not what I'm talking about, though. That's fun too, and I really like that. But here, the angle I was really trying to talk about was like just what the best uncommon is that you could like run. And this card, and okay, so quick funny story about this card. This is called Maja, Bretagard Protector. I have no idea how to say any of those words aside from Protector, but this card is so cool. And funny actually story about this card is I was looking through and I forgot that I own this card, and I was like, oh my god, this card's so good, I need to put it in Rain. And I realized, Tracy, you've already have this card, and I had like a moment there. But this card is so incredibly cool. I like it. It gives your things +1/+1, which is really cool, and then it says whenever land enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1. Like, this card is not like, oh my gosh, like, this is, like, the best card ever, whatever, but, like, it's a really, really, really good uncommon, and I feel like in these types of, like, Selesnya decks where you're playing a lot of, like, small little things, it just totally fits. So, yeah, I just think this card is, like, really cool. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just, like, I don't know. It's kind of like a lot of mana, but I feel like it does two different things, and as you're about to see in a little bit, I do like cards that do multiple things. So, yeah, this goes for best uncommon for me, though. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this card, and I genuinely, like, didn't know what category to put this in, so I was like, let me come up with a, like, and I don't know if you guys have, like, superlatives when you went to school or you're in school or whatever, but, like, we had kind of one that was, like, a typical senior, like, all-around whatever, like, I've heard, like, the all-around good guy or the all-around good gal kind of thing. So I wanted to do that for this, and I really, really, really wanted to talk about this card because I think this card is awesome, and that is Righteous Valkyrie. There's 2 Valkyries that I'm talking about in this video, which is so funny. I've yet to pick this card up. I haven't bought Magic cards in a while, mainly because I'm getting Magic cards for Christmas, and, like, I don't know, you know, that just really brought out my, like, inner child right there. I'm getting Magic cards for Christmas, like... Okay. Anyways, so this card's really cool. It's an angel, which we love. And it's got flying. Whenever an angel or a cleric ATBs, you gain life equal to its toughness, which is awesome because I feel like sometimes some angels, like, have, like, a really big toughness, which is awesome. And then if you have at least 7 or more life, creature angels get +2/+2. This card reminds me a lot of that commander cycle. I'm being literally so unspecific right now, but it was like that. There's another card that reminds me of this. It's like, oh, hold up. Maybe it's under here if I scroll down a little bit. No, it's not under here. Sometimes it shows you, like, cards that are similar under in Mythic Spoiler, but it doesn't. But the one that's, like, if you control your commander creatures you control get +2/+2. It's, like, one of those types of cards. It reminds me a little bit of this, but your whole team gets +2/+2, which is awesome. I think this card is, like, seriously so cool. Like, so cool. And I think, yeah, it's cool. I like it. Okay, I mentioned that I like when cards do multiple things, and I feel like there's probably a card that does more things, but I like this card. And it only does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does 5.5 things. Okay, I'll explain. Okay, Shadrick's Silver Squall. This card's really cool. Okay, so it says, so first off, it's got flying. That's one thing. The second thing is it's got double strike. And now the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and kind of like half thing is that at the beginning of combat, you can choose 2. I think that is so cool that you get to choose 2. And that's part of the reason why, like, I picked this card is because I was like, I feel like normally in, like, these little drop-down menus, drop-down menu? I don't know. Is that, like, what they're called? The little, it's drop-down. It's like a 2, 3 things. I don't know. Bullet points, whatever. I feel like normally you only get to pick 1, which is fine, and I understand why. But you get to pick 2. And, like, what's better than 1 but 2? So you get to pick 2, and they have to target a different player, which is, like, fine. So target player creates a 2/1 token with flying. Cool. You'd likely pick yourself, but you can be political with this card, and we love political cards, okay? We love a little political moment. Not like in actual politics, but we love, like, politics in Magic, you know? Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. I mean, hey, again, you want to play a political game? Cool. And target player puts a +1 counter on each creature they control. You can be so incredibly political with this card. I think that is awesome. That's why I picked this for this category. Because you could just be like, I'm going to give myself this, and I'm going to give, like, someone else that. And the really awesome thing, too, about this is, like, target player draws a card, and they also lose a life. So if someone's at a really low life total, you can just make them draw cards and lose life, and you could potentially kill someone that way. So that's pretty cool. And then it's, like, a 2/5, which is kind of weird. I'm very weird about, like, when power and toughness are, like, off. Does anyone else feel that way? I'm, like, very weird. I like it. I like the equilibrium when it's, like, a 3/3. 3/4s are fine. You know what I mean. Okay, now we have most unforgettable. Okay. I literally had to talk about Esika in this video, / the Prismatic Bridge, because it would be a crime not to talk about Esika / the Prismatic Bridge. And I put this card almost in, like, a ton of different categories, but I was like, I just feel like this card, or cards, and it's like a flip card, is so cool. So cool. So, for this card to make sense, there are conditions that need to be met, but I feel like Esika has really changed the name of the 5-color game. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you're playing 5-color, and you're playing a lot of creatures, / even if you're not playing a lot of planeswalkers, I don't run a lot of planeswalkers, you just run this card. And now I'm looking at this, and I'm like, maybe, I don't know why I don't have, I think the reason why I personally won't run a card like this is because I just have so many things other than creatures. Like, it's very rare for me to make a deck that's, like, 45, 50 creatures, you know what I mean? I'm someone who's, like, 35 creatures kind of gal, but if you're, like, very creature heavy in, like, 5-color, like, totally. Prismatic Bridge is so good. Esika is also just incredibly good as well because you get extra mana, which is awesome. And the art on this is also, like, beautiful and stunning. And, oh, it's Johanna Falls. Sohana's boss. How, of course. So good. Okay, it's the last category. And I feel like I don't want to, I'm not letting anyone down with this card because I just, my vision of this card, like maybe this card's not as good as I think, but I feel like this card's really good. And the category is most likely to cause tables to flip. And the feedback I got from Paul was that category needed to stay. So we had to keep it. And I picked Unnatural Growth for this one. And I just feel like Unnatural Growth is like a really silly card. And I think it's a lot sillier than I think I originally expected, because when I read this, I was like, oh, you just get to like, let's just take out that word just there. Like let's be, fine. You're like, you get to double the power toughness of each creature you control until end of turn, but it's each combat. So like you can be super aggressive with this card and or super defensive with this card. And you just get to double your power of all your stuff. Like, I feel like this card's just like a house. Anyone who played with this card, confirm or deny, is this card really as good as I think it is? Because I feel like she's really good, She seems really good. So, guys, that is it for my 2021 superlatives for looking at looking at sets in 2021. I didn't do any secret lair in this. I would have taken like 5 years, and this video, like prepping for it, was already taken a little bit, and I was like, I think I just need to like close that chapter and, look at it at a different point. But I'd really like to know if there are any categories that you think I missed that I think should be in a future part if you enjoyed this video. And if there are any that you were like, ooh, I see your point here with this card, but what about this card? Because I think that would be really interesting if you're like, ooh, this table constantly causes tables to flips in my house, whatever. So yeah, I'd really like to know that in a comment. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you in my next one.